Obit writing, when Burr and I did it, was considered the desert, but that's okay. I used to tell my kids, when they asked what Dad did, I said, well, you know, all great men, all great visionaries have to spend time in the desert. Mandela, this one, that one, and they come out of the desert a better man or woman. They go on to great things. I'm here to tell you today, it's no longer a desert. It's lush, it's green, and there are structures rising, spires gleaming in the sun that you've built and are still building. People here have gone beyond obit writing, beyond writing a column. And a desert that was once inhabited by wanderers and refugees and exiles is now populated by men and women of vision and purpose. They're writing books and blogs and websites and magazines. They're people like Larkin Bradley, Jim Sheeler, Diana Baranek, Marilyn Johnson, Judy Backrack, Krishna Ababat, Steve and Greg Miller, Barry Nelson, Tom Shecker, Jay Walker. I could go on, there's probably more. They've taken this to a new realm, unimaginable when Burr and I were doing this 25 years ago. I never had a job, and I've had a lot of jobs. Look at this face. I've worked in the oil fields, loaded trucks, private investigator, slimy car salesman, worked for 10 newspapers, 3 magazines, radio stations. I could go on. I've never had a job in my life as rewarding, as demanding, as great as writing obituaries. It was a zenith, and will remain the zenith of my professional career. There's no other job you will do that will draw on every single life experience you have. Every person you ever met, every job you ever held, every mistake you ever made will come into play to help you connect with the person on the other end of that phone. And when that person identifies you, yeah, they've done that, they've been there. They bond. When they bond, they open up. And then you can do the job the way it's supposed to be done. Some of what I just said and some of what I'm going to say will sound interesting or nice, but you won't come to fully understand what I'm saying until you put it in a larger context of years yet unlived. I'm a praying man. I believe in the afterlife. I pray in the morning and at night. You got to pray in the morning before you go out the front door. You're crazy, but you know what it's like out there. I pray every morning. Throughout the 1970s, I was an investigator reporter, analyst with the Canada Police Department, private investigator, counterintelligence officer. In my nightly prayer, sometimes in morning prayer, I would ask God to guide my hand. Not to catch bad guys. I knew I could catch bad guys. I'd done that. I asked God to guide my hand so I wouldn't hurt a good guy, an innocent person, because it was so easy. A report, a careless sentence in an article, and you can destroy reputations, marriages, relationships, lives. I knew as an investigator, an investigative reporter, and in fact a reporter, I had an awesome power at my fingertips. I didn't want to abuse it, even accidentally. I'd only been writing obits for a month or two, which I thought was kind of like the Emerald City, Happy Valley, no more confrontational stuff, no more people in prison, blah, blah. It had dawned on me. I had the same awesome responsibility as an obit writer. In fact, I was doing their final word. So I prayed for guidance on that. Writing obits brings you into a realm I'm not always comfortable with, and wasn't then. I've always considered myself a non-judgmental person. I've tried to be. In fact, people who visit my home, whether for a few hours or a few days or weeks, be they men or women, and some visit, I want to visit, they come away feeling really good. That's because there's a bubble there. My living room is a low stress, almost no stress zone, and a non-judgmental zone. I tell people if I have to, leave your bags and baggies on the porch before you come in the front door, because we don't deal with whining or complaints or criticisms or problems. If you want to do that, when you leave, after a few hours, a few days, you pick up your bags and your baggage and go home. Okay? But leave them on the porch while you're here. I found in the obit writing, I had to be a judge. I was rendering judgment, the final earthly judgment in writing, the human being. And you do that every time you write an obit. You put too much emphasis on his enthusiasm as a sports fan, maybe 3-4 paragraphs. Suddenly you've skewed the whole obit. All this guy cared about is sports, what about his kids? Okay. So with the 20, 25, 30-inch obit, I had the luxury of writing long obits back when we had space for the past few years. I knew that the proportion and the way I said it would form the image that people would have of that individual forever. I often used to say the worst obit I ever wrote will outlive the best investigation or project in the military I ever did by 100 years. Well, that's changed. With the internet, it's immortal. It'll live out there in the ether as long as there's people. It's an added burden.